Hey everyone, my name is Benj Haisch. I'm a wedding and elopement photographer based in the Pacific Northwest. And if you're anything like me, it's hard to shop for people, especially people who you might not know a lot about the things that they're really into or whatever. So as your new resident photography expert, here are a list of things that I've compiled that are great gifts for the photographer in your life. And I'll obviously put the links to everything down below in the description. So if you want to kind of just skip through this video, I'll add chapter markers, but maybe you want to just kind of skip through and click on the links. I have things in all price ranges from over $1,000 to, under $10. So there hopefully will be something for everyone. So the first thing that I would suggest if you are feeling like you kind of want to go all out is the Fujifilm X100V. It is a small portable camera with a 35mm equivalent f2 lens. It is super lightweight, beautiful for the price and the size and everything like that. It is maybe the best personal camera that any photographer could have. So let's say the photographer in your life probably already has a camera or two. Here are a few things for those systems that I find to be really great little gifts. The first of which, and probably the cheapest thing on the list, are these little shutter release buttons. I have these for all of my cameras. Every camera that I have that takes one of these buttons that can take one, I have one on here. Most of the older film cameras have these, all my Leicas, most of the Fujis have these. And these little buttons are just like little pieces of brass that are convex or concave. And they just give your finger a little extra grip for small cameras like this and all film cameras. For me, I stick them on every camera. These are amazing. One of the things that is on my Christmas list and is coming in December is a filter from my friends at Moment called the Cinebloom. It is a filter that kind of has a kind of more filmy look to it. It kind of blooms the highlights. The second thing would be a great strap. So I have these straps from Clever Supply Co. I have them in a couple different sizes. They are beautiful. They match up with the kind of like aesthetic of a lot of the cameras that I have. I have the version that has these neck pads. And then they also come with this Peak Design hardware. So it's really, really easy to take the strap on and off. It honestly just looks really beautiful, fits this whole system really well. And the nice thing, again, is they are interchangeable. So let's say you have multiple cameras like I do. You can buy one strap, use them on multiple things, and go from there. The other amazing thing about that system is once you've added these Peak Design little hardware things, you can use multiple straps. So you can use different lengths. But one of the other things for smaller cameras that may be point and shoots or a small camera like this is you can get this little wrist strap. Also from Clever Supply Co. It just makes it really, really nice to be able to just take out. Maybe you're going to pocket it or put it in a bag or something like that. Having a little wrist strap like this is really, really nice. And since if you decide to go in that direction, if you already have the Peak Design hardware or someone that's already using these little things, if you see these on someone's camera, you know that these straps will work with it. So maybe they already have a Peak Design strap for something else, and then adding this little wrist strap is something that, when you're taking it out is kind of a little fun little bonus thing. I use these on my point and shoot cameras. And again, the beauty of it is I have these little pieces of hardware on all of my different cameras, so I can just pop these on and off and use them on different things. I know this is X100 centric, but if you are, someone that has one of these cameras, buying a lens hood for it is a really, really cool thing. So I have this one from Square Hood, and then this one from, I believe, JJC. Yep. And then there's another company called Haoge, Haoge. They make a square hood as well. I'll link all of these below, but this is kind of what the different ones look like. I have this one for the X100F and then the square hood for the X100V. They're just a little bit different, just compared to whatever kind of style you're looking for. I personally love the square hood and that kind of vibe, but this is kind of more the original version and a little bit more classic maybe. And both of these hoods, as well as the other one that I mentioned, look beautiful on these and kind of add to the overall aesthetic. Now let's say that you are going to, spend a little bit more maybe. A couple things that are also beautiful, timeless kind of things. This is the Ona Bowery bag. I've had Ona bags for forever, and they're one of those things that it just is a beautiful piece of leather, or I guess lots of pieces of leather. It's just a smaller version of my normal work bag that I use, which is the Brixton. They're just beautiful bags that are going to last forever because they're all leather. I've used them for years and they still look beautiful. All the little scratches and everything, just kind of that general patina just continues to make it look better and better as time goes on. So if you're looking to spend a little bit more on someone, these bags are, in the hundreds, but are beautiful and amazing. While we're on the topics of bags, if you're looking for a bag that maybe isn't all leather and slightly bigger, this bag is made by Satchel and Page. It's big enough to fit kind of just some of the smaller cameras, maybe a bigger camera and a lens. It's definitely not a bag to travel around with and do stuff, but for an everyday carry type of bag, this fits my iPad Pro with Magic Keyboard perfectly in the back. Allows me to bring a camera, a couple lenses, maybe that battery bank. Lots of stuff like this. It's a really beautiful little bag, and it's kind of been, as weird as it is, I've been just coming between my office and my house back and forth. And so in that way, it's my everyday carry bag because it fits kind of just my general stuff like that. Another thing that might not be a necessity, but is something I'm using and I use every day, I use it more than my work computers, I use it more than my laptops or my iMacs, is the iPad Pro. Especially with the Magic Keyboard. So if you are someone that, maybe your loved one has an iPad Pro or the new iPad Air, one of the things that I kind of felt like I splurged on was this Magic Keyboard, and it is beautiful, writing emails and stuff like that on this, or sometimes just sitting here using Lightroom Mobile, and maybe watching TV with my wife. I bought this at the beginning of the pandemic, knowing that I would have to be kind of splitting my time a little bit more between my office and inside. I love answering emails on it, doing a lot of kind of that other random work, and especially with the Magic Keyboard, it's been great. So if you kind of want to go all out a little bit more, the iPad Pro or even the iPad Air with the Magic Keyboard, and I happen to love the Apple Pencil a lot, any of those things would be great as well. Now, let's say your loved one has a camera and maybe has a zoom lens. Maybe it's their first kind of setup. Usually the next lens on anybody's list is a lens that's kind of dubbed the Nifty 50. So this is the Canon 50mm 1.8. Usually the 50mm is kind of the second lens that anybody gets into after they've kind of bought the kit lens, which is, what's filming me above here. That's just a general all-purpose lens, but this is a lens that has a little bit more of that faster aperture, so you get more of that blurry background. These lenses are generally cheap. This one normally is about $120. And oftentimes it goes down to sometimes $100 around Black Friday, Cyber Monday, that kind of thing. It lives on this camera and it has always kind of worked as a good backup for things for me. And definitely was one of the lenses that I mainly used when I was first starting wedding photography and first kind of just getting into photography in general. And the new versions, like this Canon one, is really great, especially on film. I shoot it all the time and am always really, really impressed with the results. Another thing that would both help me out and would help out hopefully your loved one if they are into wedding or portrait photography specifically is to get them a preset pack. So my Cascade presets are on sale for the biggest sale ever at 50% off right now from Black Friday through I think Cyber Monday. So that brings my Cascade O2 pack down to $50, which is by far the cheapest it's ever been. So if you're looking for a great preset pack that fits into wedding or portrait photography, I believe my Cascade 02 pack is $50 and my Cascade 01 pack is $35, which, as I'm even saying that, is kind of blowing my mind because they're 50% off. And speaking of which, if you have a photographer friend or whatever, it's just been a crazy year and it's been a hard year for a lot of people. So one of the things you can do that would be a gift to them and then also be a gift to other people would be to buy maybe a session card, prepay for a session for another family member or a friend or something like that. That, will keep your friend or family working as well as giving something to somebody else. So supporting small business during this time is obviously super important and would be, I'm sure, really, really appreciated by any photographer in your life. On that same subject, if you are like me and you have a photographer in your life, they might be selling prints. I sell my prints of my work, and if you are interested, I will put a link below to where you can buy some of my own work. But maybe you have a photographer friend in your life that sells their own work. Again, if you can buy something from, another photographer that you know, and then gift it to somebody else that you know, kind of a win-win. You're getting something hopefully beautiful from someone that you also respect and want to help out. And then you're giving someone else a custom piece of artwork that is going to be beautiful and meaningful. And so if you're interested in any of my work or, just anybody's work, I'll list mine below. But, supporting your photographer friends by buying their work is something that's really meaningful and would hopefully be great for someone else as well. One of the things that I consider pretty essential to the way that I photograph things are these hold-fast moneymaker straps. It's a dual camera setup, so you have, a camera on each side, and these things are both beautiful and allow you to have just more hands-free. So if the photographer in your life is, someone that uses two cameras, I could not recommend these enough. They're beautiful, sleek, really easy. I'll obviously link these below, but it is definitely the thing that for me as a wedding photographer is kind of a must. I could use any system, and this is the thing that I would make sure that was my first purchase if I was, gifting something to a new or aspiring wedding photographer if they don't already have one. Another kind of fun gift is these Instax. This is the SQ6. I did a video on these, comparing them to the Polaroid cameras. Personally, I really love the square format Fujifilm Instax cameras. So, these are around $100, and the film for the Instax models are pretty cheap. So, maybe you love photography like this. Maybe you're looking for something that's a little bit out of the norm. Basically, a lot of the things for me that get me out of the norm of my own work are fun, creative things like this. So, there's definitely a ton of different models of Instax cameras, but this is kind of one of the more inexpensive models that shoots the square format that I like. It's a super fun, sort of affordable gift idea. It's one of the things that I bought with some of my Christmas money a couple years ago. Speaking of film, I hear through the grapevine that Kodak Film, their pricing is going to go up again in 2021. I definitely recommend Portra 400. It is the best film stock for just general use. It can be used for literally anything, portraits, street work, landscapes. It works amazing for everything. It's the most flexible film out there. Couldn't recommend it enough. One of the last things that probably isn't very exciting, but is something that I use all the time, especially when I'm traveling and even just around the house. It is this Anker battery bank. So this one is a battery bank that has two USB ports as well as a USB-C port. All of the new Macs use USB-C as well as the new iPad Pros. Produces enough wattage to power and recharge MacBook Pros, MacBooks, iPad Pros. So if you are going on a road trip, you're flying anywhere, which, not a lot of us are flying much these days, but you know, let's say you're on the couch and you don't want to be getting up to go plug your computer in somewhere else. Having this, you're able to just turn it on, plug it in. It essentially charges your laptop battery again. And then it also is able to charge things like this Fujifilm X100V. It can be charged by USB-C. The other nice thing is I have USB chargers for all of my cameras. So my Canons, my Leicas, my Fujis, I have USB chargers for all of those. And then I'm able to, on the go, recharge those batteries via this battery bank. And so whether I'm hiking or out of service somewhere or whatever, even if I don't have power, wall power, I have this. I can charge my, you know, all my devices as well as my cameras. Last kind of random thing, but I realized I was wearing this Kodak shirt. They sell these on Amazon, and I have two different versions, this gray one as well as a black one. I just love Kodak Film, and this is a kind of very neutral way to show my love and affinity for my favorite film stocks. So thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, it will all be linked in the description down below. And then if you, again, have any questions specifically about the stuff or want any tips, I'll try to be really, really helpful and active in the comments. So if you have a friend that you know, or like a family member, loved one that has a specific camera or whatever, and just want to jump in and ask for recommendations directly, I'll try to be doing that. And I can also try to kind of update the list as things might pop up. Maybe there's a sale on something or whatever. Just jump into the description below. I'll make kind of separate portions for all those different things. And if you're into photography and stuff like that, I make a lot of videos reviewing gear and all that kind of stuff to help people make better informed decisions. So if you're into this kind of stuff, subscribing would be great. And lastly, if you're interested in getting somebody something that might help further the photography in a more cerebral sense, I have a Patreon channel where I do lots of tutorial videos. It's $10 a month, so the subscription for someone would only be $120 a year. And in doing that, they would get access to a ton of educational content, new videos every month, discounts on some random things and whatnot. And it's something that I do that I really love, and is a way to kind of give back to the community and give people an educational experience that isn't thousands of dollars, but just $10 a month. So thanks again, and I will see you on the next one.